We are almost bowl cut maintenance worthy. No, it's this way. No, it's this way. Ah, it's fine. It's growing. It's this way. I don't know. Come over. Whoa. 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 It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on space ship Earth. What's going on out there? What is going on? It's Monday, first Monday of February. What's going on, cactus? Free as a bird? Whoa. Good day from the land down under. Good day from the land. I'm going to have some Vegemite. I'm actually going to get my Vegemite out right now so it softens up, dude. That's right. The goods. The goods. Tommy Hunting, what's your favorite book from the shelf? All right. That's a good question. We'll get started right there, dude. He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. That's right. It ain't Tuesday yet. Not here. What we down Urban Gorilla? Where are you at? My favorite book right here. Right here, man. Hampton Sides, Blood and Thunder. The epic story of Kit Carson and the conquest of the American West, man. It's a personal favorite right here. My favorite, the best one of the unknown American history is this one right here, Astoria by Peter Stark. It's funny that this one burned up in the fire, and I bought it again just to have a copy. Same with this one. These were both, because you know how it is when you read a book, you kind of read a book. But I was like, these are two books I like to have on hand. And then I highly recommend both of those. Kit Carson's a fascinating dude. I'm into that whole period of American history, the mid to late 1800s. That's when it was really prettiest. Because, this actually Astoria takes place in the early 1800s. (1810 to 1813). I forgot it was that early. 1846. 1800s, man. That's where all the action is, dude, in American history, maybe even world history. The beginning of the industrial era. They still haven't gotten to figure out lots of unexplored lands. They haven't even found the headwaters of the Nile at that point. I don't even think they find the headwaters of the Nile till the late 1800s. Think about it. Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, after his last presidency, went and discovered one of the last uncharted. He charted one of the last uncharted rivers in the Amazon. Think about that. I sometimes wonder, man, what a wild time it must have been. Like Kit Carson, like when you read Kit Carson, like that dude's literally riding his mule around the entire western half of the United States, and it's untouched at that point. It's relatively pristine. Like what a wild thing it must have been to have roamed around when it was perfect. I mean, it was super dangerous. Like, I think that's what people forget about. Like there were grizzly bears everywhere. Like, it wouldn't have been safe to have been here. There have been grizzly bears here too. Grizzly bears and mountain lions and all that kind of stuff. Probably some giant. I don't really read nonfiction. I mean, would have guessed your faves would have been. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't really read fiction. I find nonfiction far more far crazier than fiction. What's going on, Jason Allen? I'm currently on Lila by Robert Persing. Lila by Robert Persing. Let me see. What's this? Lila by Persing. Oops, I got cap locks on. What is it? By Robert Persig, dude. Robert Persig. Let's see, dude. What do we got here? Oh, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Robert Persig. Oh, what do we got here? Somehow I got let's see, what do we got? Somehow I just downloaded the whole PDF by mistake, dude. You can preview the first 50 pages and inquire into the morals is the second philosopher in our person who is best of his. Yeah, I read Zen and the Artist Motorcycle Maintenance way back in the day. That's why I put all my nuts and bolts in plastic bags and label them whenever I'm doing any sort of like mechanical work. I'll tell you, to sum up Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, plastic bags, label your nuts and bolts when you're taking apart your motorcycle. That's about all I got out of Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. And don't sit behind the dude's head. I think that's all I really took out of it too, is don't have the little guy sit behind you, because all he gets to see is the back of your head. It's been flat since Christmas, Jason. You know, West Coast, man. Have you ever outweighted the Napoleon Hill? No, I have not. Yeah. Well, you know, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is your required, relatively boring. I don't know. I find that kind of stuff a little bit of boring, dude. Like what is it? I'll tell you one of my favorite books I ever read was, where is it, dude? Is it? Let me see. Is this the one? Which is the Wait here, wait, hold on. Let me see if this is actually it. No, I don't think it's. Ah, dude, wait, what is it this one? Wait, hold on. Let me see. Yeah, dude. It's a gnarly book to read that's kind of more insightful is Norman Mailer's An American Dream, man. Norman Mailer's An American Dream. I read in one sitting. I sat down and read it front to back in one sitting, and I think I was in Flagstaff, Arizona at the time. And it got me into drinking scotch for a little while. But it was a pretty that was like the only book I've ever just sat down and read front to back in one sitting. 33 viewers, dude. Zen is amazing. I didn't really think the Zen and the Artist set. I think the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is a little overhyped, but I get why people find it amazing. I remember I read it and thought it was kind of boring. Like a book that actually, a book that actually like put me into action was Edward Abbey's The Monkey Wrench Gang. If you have, I mean, I don't even know if it's applicable anymore, dude. But Edward Abbey's The Monkey Wrench Gang actually like made me pivot my life in a certain direction. I always liked Edward Abbey. That's why I think reading is such an important thing. Even if you don't like it, I still think it's worthwhile to read it. To at least, I mean, that's the trippy thing. There's so many books. I forgot what I decided I'm going to read next. I'm debating whether to read this one next, because I've been sort of on a pre-Civil War thing lately, or I got a new Larson book. Or is it? Or I'm doing this one. It's one of these, dude. I definitely like Eric Larson's style. Ted Widmer. I've never read his thing, but I'm sort of into the this is all about Lincoln's train ride from when he heads into the to the inauguration, and he has to do it like undercover because he's afraid of getting assassinated. So I'm thinking this might kind of go well with the book I just read, but this one looks like a fairly decent investment in time. It's like 500 pages, but it's got pictures that accompany it. I think a historical book should always have historical pictures and maps. That's my own personal vibe about that, is historical books should have available historical pictures as well as lots of maps. Include the maps, man. It's very good, dude. It fills in the blanks. What up, random? Abraham, I sitting on a fence. You'd get right to work if you had any sense. The one thing we need is a left-handed monkey wrench. And lots of maths. I don't quite get the reference, but I don't know, dude. But yeah, man, I've been definitely on the trying to read more, read more, read more. But I am sort of, it's funny when I get into the 20th century, I don't find it quite as interesting as the 18th. The 1900s aren't nearly as interesting as the 1800s. You know, because it's like the 1800s, it's everybody sort of has a weird interaction with each other. Like everybody's sort of crossing each other's path, especially in continental North America. Like in the 1800s in continental North America, all the stories kind of interweave with each other. Like that's what I find fascinating about it too. It's the Wild West, but it's the Wild West, but it's the fully industrialized East at the same. That's what I mean is that I think the fascinating part about that time in American history is the East Coast at that time is fully industrialized, like basically giant cities all the way out to St. Louis, huge infrastructure, and then you have the other half of the country is wildlands with still gnarly tribal clans running around dominating for a certain period. I mean, Red Cloud smoking the cavalry till the like 1860s, man. So, you know, I think there's, and then you have like the whole weird thing going on the West Coast at the same time. Like, there's a lot of the Transcontinental Railroad. You got all sorts of stuff going on, man. You got all the, yeah, it's a trippy time, man. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I think that's what I find sort of fascinating about it. And then someone like Kit Carson, he's running around touching everybody. You know what I mean? Kit Carson's like everywhere. Like that's what, when you really read wherever Kit Carson is up there, when you read about Kit Carson, you find out that that guy basically like is involved with everything in his period of life. It's pretty wild. Or the Mormons are pretty interesting too, man. And in that time, man. Especially when you find out that they were doing their whole thing with hand carts, man. They didn't even bother to use the wagons. They used hand carts. Like, that's next level, dude. And then you take that thing and you kind of cross-reference it with the John Levy stuff. Like, that's what I think is when you throw on top of it is all the John Levy stuff about the census and how they built all those towns during that time is pretty interesting too, because that doesn't jive with the history either, man. It would be really interesting to see what Kit Carson really did see out there, because I'm sure his history is somewhat sepia washed, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the Mormons are pretty interesting, man. They really are, man. I mean, especially when like even like the deal they had with like their contribution to the Transcontinental Railroad and the whole thing, man. It's pretty wild. Utah. I will say, like, so I had just speaking of Utah, so I'd gotten a pit like a cheap pitching machine, you know, so Al could work on batting. And it's interesting, the gold rush, the I think the gold rush is overhyped as the catalyst for change. The more and more I study that period of time, it's all about the railroad. The gold rush is pretty significant, but that's not what brings the country together. It's the railroad. The railroad's the big thing. Like even just the whole on the East Coast too. Like the railroads, the whole focus. I mean, yeah, the gold rush like finances it and is a big push, but Manifest Destiny is already in full effect before the gold rush. Like if you read Astoria, like so when you read this book, right? Like this is like unlike American history most people don't know about, like Astoria, that the town there in Oregon at the mouth of the Columbia River. Most people don't know that this book's all about how John Jacob Astor sets out an expedition to start a new country in what is the Pacific Northwest in the early 1800s. They literally are like, let's go start a new country. like no joke. And it doesn't have anything to do with gold. They're literally like, dude, there's a whole chunk of the country out there. Let's go claim it and start our own country. And they get out there and, trouble befuddles them along the way. And they meet Chief Joseph and the expedition. But it's when you get out there and they don't pull it off. Like that's what I mean is like there's still like a race for like think about that. At that time period, you could go start your own country. Like literally we're gonna go. Like think about that. Some dude in New York City, John Jacob Astor, was sitting there and was like, I'm gonna go like claim a bunch of like this unknown land out in the Pacific Northwest and start my own country. And because they knew the British were out there, and then you got the Russians out there moving around. And I think it's fascinating, man, that like there was that. So there was that, but that's what I mean. The gold rush is a huge catalyst, but I don't think the gold rush is quite as pivotal as the Transcontinental Railroad. Because even when you're reading about like, I'm not gonna downplay it because it's a huge issue going into that leads to the Civil War, but they were going to do it anyhow. And when you get to the big like psyche of what really got the country excited, like gold fever got people like excited, but you had to be sort of like a wild one, right? I mean, you read about Leland Stanford and those guys who the real smart dudes were the dudes who sold the tools to the gold miners. Like those are the dudes who got rich. It wasn't the gold guys. It was the dudes who sold the tools to the gold guys are all the ones who got rich. But you think about like just the whole, like the different mentalities of what was going on. Who is John Galt, dude? I always thought Atlas Shrugged was another highly overrated novel. Ayn Rand, like basically, this is my take on Atlas Shrugged. Is it's basically it basically recopies itself 3 times over. Like if you read the first third of that novel, you're good to go. You don't need to read the other 2/3. I thought it was a bit, what did they say when they make extra long movies that they don't really need to make them that big? Like, I think you could have crammed down Atlas Shrugged into like a 300-page novel, and it would have been really interesting. I found it to be very drawn out and somewhat self-indulgent. That's what I wanted to say. It basically repeated the theme over and over again. Like, and once you kind of figured it out, yeah, it was tedious, dude. Thank you, dude. Pretentious, dude. Pretentious and self-indulgent. Tedious is another word for it. Yeah, it was tedious. But it's like one of those things you got to read just to check it off the list. It's like Shakespeare, man. Like I like it's like I'll tell you when I learned to really like read, like because reading, we work with a lot of young people up here, right? I'll tell you the if you can give the one thing that if a young person can read, and I don't mean like you can read like a menu or a book, like sit down and read a novel, you can basically are indestructible in today's modern society. Like if you can sit down and read a novel, you pretty much are not going to get smoked by the system. It's pretty fascinating to watch. Like the people that pull it off are people that can sit down and read a novel at this point. What's going on, dude? Stuart, man, what's going, dude? Let's do it, Stuart. Fired up, man. Good to see you, my brother. I've been waiting for you to circle back around. Yeah, let's do it, dude. We're well. I hope you're well too, man. It's it's been a good ride. It's been a good ride. Yeah, dude, I'd be fired up on that. It's time to circle the wagons, man. We're about to get into interesting territory. So no, I've been thinking like a lot about that is so when I was so my last semester of high school, right? So I was going to Santa Monica, Samo High in Santa Monica, class 87, right? So I was there and I was short elect electives, right? I wasn't going to graduate because I hadn't taken enough electives. So they stuck me in Shakespeare and orchestra. Like they just were like, you're because I was busy being a stoner surfer. So I was like, whatever, dude. And they're like, no, if we're gonna just give you these electives so you graduate. So I was stuck in orchestra and I had to play the tuba, dude, because I was late to because I was like, they were like, I was like a week late to so I didn't get to pick my instrument. I got the tuba. So I had to learn to play the tuba, but I also got Shakespeare. And I remember, because I was busy blowing school off and going surfing and getting stoned and whatever. And so I wasn't really paying attention. I got called into the dean's office or whatever with my Shakespeare teacher. And she's like, you're not going to pass the class unless you're not going to do it. You're a jerk off. Basically, dude, at that point I was such a super spicolied out dude. It was it was like Mr. Hand. I really was like living the Spicoli thing. And they're like, dude, you're useless, dude. And I remember because I'm like one of those people, like, don't let the stoner. This is like when I really figured out something in life. And I was like, I got super annoyed by it. Like I was like super like suck a bag, lady. And so like she was like, you're and so that like that day I went home and I started like reading Shakespeare, like digging into Shakespeare, just ripping bong hits and reading Shakespeare, dude. And I ended up getting an A in Shakespeare, dude. Like I turned it around where by the end, like I was the best student in the class where the teacher had to like acknowledge, like, dude, I missed, I, I misjudged the book by the cover, dude. Like you win. And I dug deep into Shakespeare. Like I went fully Shakespeare'd out. And it was then that I learned, I think that's when I learned the power of reading. Like for real, the power of reading, where I was like, oh, whoa, like I can actually defeat these people by reading. You get what I'm saying is like they were like, you're not going to graduate high school and like you're a stoner and a loser and blah 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 blah. And I was like, so what do I got to do to pass this class? And it's like read Shakespeare. Everybody's like, Shakespeare, Shakespeare. And I was like, what's the big deal, dude? I'll read Shakespeare. And I got all into it. Did I think what really kicked it off was what's the one? Is it The Tempest or I think The Tempest got me. We read like 10 of them, dude. It was The Tempest. I really like Taming of the Shrew. But I think the one that really, the Midsummer's Night Dream kind of set me off and Hamlet and all those things. But I really got into it, dude. And I just fully became like a reader. And I saw I saw what happened when I read. I was like, oh, whoa, like you can't deny me if I've read. Like if I read the book, you can't deny me, dude. Like, because I know what's in the book, dude. So what? Thou art the teacher now. No, thou art the student. I am, just the whole thing. Because I remember Shakespeare was so ridiculous, but it was perfect for my like stoner vibe at the time because it was so retardedly stupid. The Shakespeare stuff. I was like, what is this like bong literature, dude? That to me, that's all Shakespeare was. I don't get, again, I think Shakespeare is so highly overrated, but I think the genius of it is it's stoner literature with the whole the whole grandiose like old English stuff is like basically how I think when I'm ripping bong hits anyhow. And then to throw in a bunch of like dads killing their kids and banging their sisters and elves and weird stuff. I was like, you can't lose, dude. So I didn't have the big like Shakespeare's a drag. I thought Shakespeare was cartoonishly silly. Yeah. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purposes of life is to give it away. Shakespeare. Okay, there you go. Yeah, no. I just what I'm getting at is I never like I remember sitting on one side of the Shakespeare thing and being like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like I remember being sitting in the classroom being like, what is this? This is nonsense. Like, what is this, dude? This sucks. And just like want. And then the challenge was come because the teacher was calling me stupid. And I was like, I may be stoned, but I'm not stupid, dude. Like, fine. It was like one of those like TV movies. I was like, fine. And then I got into it, and then I discovered the secret of Shakespeare is it's bong literature, man. It's ancient literature made for modern stoners. So I was like, this is a no-brainer, man. Like I see right through it. But you know what's funny? At the same time, I had the same problem in tuba, right? So in tuba, I was a blow off too. I was like, "Pff, this is stupid, dude. I don't want to learn to play the tuba. This blows. I could care less." And since if you like the tuba, it's like being like the bass of the like orchestra, right? So I'm in this orchestra class with all these like orchestra nerds, man, like all with their flutes and their whatever orchestra stuff. And I'm just spicolied out, just dude, not practicing, dude. I'm borrowing some dude's embouchure, dude. He gets all pissed at me because I drop it and dent it. It was like a nightmare, dude. I remember it was a nightmare. I'd show up stoned to this orchestra class, and everyone would just be like, this guy's gonna make our day suck, dude. It was like that. And I'd go in there and I wouldn't practice. I didn't know anything. And then it was the same thing. The teacher comes up to me and he's like, look, dude, he didn't call me stupid. He was like, look, you better get your shit together. I'm going to flunk you, dude. You're not going to graduate high school because you didn't pass this orchestra class, dude. And I was like, ugh. So I was like, oh God, dude. So I went and I asked the nerdy kids. It was like one of the, again, it was like a full, like I went and asked the nerdy kids in band. I was like, hey, dude, like, you guys got to help me, dude. Like, I got to like pass this class, man. You got to teach me how to play the stupid tuba, dude. So I would meet with these dudes after school and they would teach me to play the tuba, the tuba. And it was like that thing where like it was straight Mr. Hand when he's like, I think you've done just enough Spicoli to pass my class. Far out. Like I did the final like recital. I squeaked through the bump, 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 bump. And the teacher's like, you just made it, dude. I don't want to see you ever again. Dude, but I remember hanging out with these 3 nerdy band kids, dude, trying to teach me how to play the tuba, dude. Ah. Dude. They wouldn't even I remember they wouldn't let me take my senior picture because my shirt was wrinkled because I showed up just at like after dawn patrol, just yeah. And they were like, you can't take your senior picture in your shirt. It's like wrinkled. They're like, you have to come back tomorrow or what? And I never came back. I was like, whatever. So I was in the not pictured here and they spelled my name wrong, dude. I was like, I don't care. Should have went to Olympic, dude. I didn't care enough to even care, dude. Ah, man, I remember that guard. I remember that guard, Gersh. I think his name was Gersh, the security guard, Gersh. Ah, dude, Samo High, bro. I remember sneaking out of that place. I had this like spot in the back corner on the Ocean Park side where the 2 fences met in the back. I could scale over the giant fence because there was like a V in the fence, like a corner. And then there was another corner. So I could do it and do it. Nah, the DMV story's not for tonight, dude. We're talking stoner stories at Santa Monica High School. Dude, I remember. So when I moved down from the Santa Cruz Mountains, the summer before my senior year in high school, right? So I moved down. I graduated 87, so I moved down in the summer of 86, I guess, right? And but when I went to school, I signed, you know how like in those, like I signed all the paperwork myself for the school, dude, right? So like I signed my mom's signature, but I signed it all, right? So I'd signed the her signature, my style. So when I would come to school with like absence slips and like, the excuse slips, I forget what they were called. You'd not show up for a day of school and you'd come and you'd bring the slip, the excuse slip, dude, signed by your mom, or the you get to leave school early note, like, my son needs to leave today. He's got a dentist appointment or whatever. Like I signed all those things, dude. So I would bring them to school, and I had a friend who was working in the office, dude. And there was like some crazy south swell or something. I blew off a couple days of school, and I was coming, and I ran into him somewhere, and they're like, again, like my weird trip is I could get in with the nerdy people. Like I was always that dude I never really got along with the jocks, but I could get along with them. But I could always like make friends with the nerdy people. Like I always dug the nerd. I don't know. I could always get along with the nerdy people, man. So I remember I was coming back to school, and I would had to park my car the street over from Ocean Park there. And I parked my car, and I ran into this person in the office, and they're like, dude, like if you turn in one more slip to the office, you're going to get like expelled. And I'm like, what? They're like, no, there's like a giant note at the in the office, at the window or whatever it is in the office, with your name. Like if you to turn in one more, if you show up with the one more note, you're getting pulled in, and you're going to get like expelled or suspended or whatever it is. And I was like, so I didn't turn in any more notes after that. I like kept going to school, man, for like the rest of the semester. But it was only due to like my being nice to some nerdy office kid that saved my life, dude, from like getting fully like routed, dude. Like that's my like final semester at Samo High, is me ducking and weaving, dude. Just surfs up, man. Dude, we would drive on the PCH, man. And you'd always had to sit in traffic, dude, sitting there from like Tuna Canyon, basically, or a little bit further back from like Tuna Canyon, halfway between Big Rock and Tuna Canyon, the traffic would start. So whatever, dude, cause I lived up Las Flores. So I'd come down Las Flores, and you're basically on the PCH, and you don't really get a good, clear look at the ocean. Like, you get little chunks here. There's a chunk at Big Rock you can see, and you get a little bit at the Las Flores but you can't really tell what's going on. But so you would sit in traffic, and you would come over I'd come over, and you were at Topanga, the bridge, dude. And it was always that thing. You'd be sitting in traffic for like 20 minutes easily at that point. You're sitting in the traffic for 20 minutes. You're 5 minutes away from the light of traffic. You come over the bridge at Topanga, and now you got to look right at the top of the point. And it was the classic thing, man. If that window of sitting there at the top of the point was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, sitting there creeping along, if any sort of set came through, it was a U-turn, man. Like, oh, dude, I'm out. I'm going surfs up, dude. that was Samo High, 1987. You turning at the Topanga Bridge, going up to, I would go hide out up at Zero. Hide out up at Zero because it wasn't a state park then, dude. It was, you could just go hide down there, and like there was like a little old foundation you could get up to where one of the houses had burned down back in the day. And no, you wouldn't get busted by anybody there for like hiding out from school, smoking weed, dude. That's when I used to serve, I served Zero like every day, dude. But that was before it was like that. It was sort of my spot for a while. Are you any good at the tuba? No, dude. Absolutely not. Dude, how funny, dude. You're Jason Schwann. I was the other day, I was 2 days ago, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I had my thing on shuffle and Dinosaur Jr. came on. I was listening to Spotify. I was doing the Spotifying off of the Minutemen, and somehow Dinosaur Jr. showed up on it. And I was listening to Dinosaur Jr. and I was doing that thing, and I was like, every Dinosaur Jr. song sounds the same. And I was like, again, it was funny you brought that up because I was thinking about it, like commenting about Dinosaur Jr. because I've tried to like Dinosaur Jr. and the only song I like is Light. What is it? What is the only song? Wait, I gotta figure out what is it before I speak. Wait, let's see. Artist, Dinosaur. Where's D? Dinosaur Jr. The only song I like is Lightning Bulb, right? And I was listening to Dinosaur Jr. came on, and I was like, oh, it's like Lightning Bulb, but it's not Lightning Bulb. And I was like, oh, this is why I don't like Dinosaur Jr. because every song's trying to be the same song. I mean, I do like the guy from Dinosaur Jr. I think he's pretty interesting, especially since he played with Gigi Allen, but I don't care for Dinosaur Jr. I think it's highly overrated. I don't get it. Although I like Lightning Bulb, dude, I can put that one on and rock out, man. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I only need to listen to my one Dinosaur Jr. song, dude. I'm good. That's my thing. I don't. That's like, I guess that like the G. You know why I never really got into Dinosaur Jr. Because Dinosaur Jr. came from the time of albums, right? Like you had to go commit to a whole Dinosaur Jr. album. And I think I remember I got the one with the chick, with the little girl with the cigarette on it or whatever. And I was just like, I can't like listen to this because my rule was you had to be able to put the CD on and let it go. No fast forwarding. That was my rule. No, if you had to fast forward it, it was out the window. Like that was like my rule. People would used to trip because I'd be like driving down the street and we'd go to the record store and I'd buy a new album and I'd be like, if I have to hit the fast forward button, it's out the window, dude. I just throw it out the window, dude. I don't. And so the only reason I even have a Dinosaur Jr. song is because it's the one song I do like, but if I had to deal with it in the album things, I would glitch out. That's sort of my take on Dinosaur Jr. I like the guy though, dude. The guy is cool, man. I have an interest is him as a musician. I just don't have an interest in the music he makes, if that makes any sense. Like I really like what him, but I don't like the music he makes. I think it's very boring. Oh no. See, this is why I'm always a little like about I should have put a price cap on the music talk, dude. You got to tip your talker if we're talking about music, dude. Jay Mascis, dude. It's not even his voice or his guitar. It's just the same thing. It's just the same thing. It's like every Dinosaur Jr. song's the same song, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Although I will tell you that I got the Melvins are coming to Bakersfield in a month, dude. It's gonna be Al's first live show is the Melvins in Bakersfield because we were gonna go see the Idols in Oakland, but something happened, we couldn't make it. So we got our tickets for the Melvins down at Bakersfield at the Fox Theater, dude. Should be rowdy, dude. See, like that's the thing. Like the Melvins, I like the Melvins because they change it up, like to the point where like some Melvins I can't listen to, like it's just I can't. But the Melvins are all over the map, so I get I get super into that, dude. Yeah, Melvins are rad live, dude. The Merman, dude. I saw the Merman. Like, no, I've seen the Merman a number of times, dude. California Road songs, dude. I did the good book recommendation. You got it, Jason. You got to go back to the beginning of the thing, dude. We did the good book recommendation. Yeah, the Merman, dude. The Merman are all time, dude. I remember seeing. I remember my buddy for his 50th, Pete DeVosile, who's passed away. Pete DeVosile hired the Merman for his 50th birthday party. I remember at the Malibu Inn. And I'd been listening to Merman for years, dude. Seen him a couple times. And I remember I was sitting in the bar drinking. I didn't know he'd hired the Merman for his birthday party. I was just like sneaking into his party, dude, because he had rented out the Malibu Inn, and I was living in Sarah Retreat at the time, and I was like, this dude, this is before I was friends with him. I was like, fuck this kook, dude. I'm going, dude. Like, whatever, dude. And I remember I was sitting at the bar drinking, and I was like, I know that sound. I know that sound. And I go out, dude, and it's the Merman ripping, and there's like two people like standing there listening to the Merman, and everybody's in the other room where the bar is, and then in the back room where they're like playing pool. And I was out there listening. I remember I was out of my mind, dude. I was super out of my mind, and I remember, dude, that I think it was Jack Osborne was so coked up he was hiding under like a table in the bar. I remember seeing him under there and just being like, "What's this clown doing, man?" But I remember I was sitting there and I was rocking out to the Merman, and I was like, "This is offensive that everyone's in there and not out." Then I remember I went and made a big stink. You guys are idiots, man. The fucking Mermen are fucking playing right out there, and you guys are in here playing pool and talking. Like, what are you doing? What are you people doing? You guys are idiots. I made one of my classic grandstanding, like, you guys all suck moments. I was pretty notorious for doing stuff like that back in my wasted days. You guys all suck. You don't deserve to be alive. Mermen are right there, going off. What's wrong with you people? I probably threw a beer can at someone's head, dude, just caused a scene. I don't think I got in any real trouble that night, dude. But I remember the dude whose party it was. I ran into him doing blow over at my other friend's house like 6 months later, and he's like, "You're the dude from my party who caused the big scene about no one listening to the merman." He's like, "I was right there with you, dude, because I had hired them. I had paid for them to be there, and nobody was listening to the merman, dude. You basically said what I was thinking, dude. That's how we became friends." Because he was so I'd made such a big scene, but it was his birthday, and he was like, "You're the only person who appreciates what I've brought to the birthday party, dude." That was how we became buddies, dude. The world works in such weird ways when you just do your own thing and don't care what anyone thinks, dude. Ah, dude, I remember, dude. Ah, Viktor Frankl, yeah, The Search for Meaning, dude. You too can survive the concentration camp, man. Just positive attitude and just get lucky, bro. Get lucky, man. Yeah, Viktor Frankl. That's required reading, dude. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, dude. If you really want to read the gnarliest book ever, like there's it's not the it's about the Third Reich. You know what book's gnarly about the Third Reich is Eric Larson's the devil and the devil. What is it? It's here. It is. Where is it? The devil and the what is it called, dude? What you wrote? The devil. Or is it's the devil and the devil and the no, it's not. It's in the Garden of the Beast. Read Eric Larson's In the Garden of the Beast. It's about the American ambassador to Germany in 1936, who's over there with his whole family when it all begins, when the atrocities begin. It's possibly the most horrifying read in a level because it doesn't get into the gore, because that isn't yet to happen. It's all about them as American ambassadors when it begins. Before everybody knows what's going on, it's when the switch gets flipped in Nazi Germany, and this family and this ambassador's there, and you get this like it's pretty crazy, dude. Because it's almost everybody's so used to the shriveled bodies and piles and, the Nazis executing people in trenches in the Ukraine and all that kind of stuff. But I find that the real stuff is in the mid 1930s, because that's when you see a society that bets on the losing team, dude, for the win. They're like, we're gonna win. We're all in on this deal. And you also see that the people that weren't into it at that point couldn't do anything about it except like be quiet and roll with it, dude, because it was too late. I think we're here at that point, dude. I think the switch is going to get flipped, and the day of being able to say anything about anything is gonna pass. Like I do see like I do feel that we're past the fail safe point in America at this point, where it could go sideways real quick, dude. And again, I don't. People want to make it about the orange man. That's, again, if you read any of these books about the 30s in Germany, like, yeah, like the dude with the funny mustache, like he was the focal point, but 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 none of it happens without the apathetic response of a lot of like Christians, man. Like when you really study like who who green lights the whole thing in Germany, the crazy dudes with the armbands and the brown shirts and stuff, like, yeah, they're super vicious and gnarly and the whole thing. But the reason that the whole thing kicks off is because the citizenry of Germany kept quiet, man, and was like, not me, man. I ain't gonna put my neck out. And you know who really didn't put their neck out was the Christian church, man. Like you could argue, and it's been argued by many people, that the real villains, I mean, the Nazis were the real villains, of course, because they did the actual dirty work. But the people that really were quiet were the Christians in Germany, and they didn't speak up because they decided to toe the line with the state. And this goes back to my 501c3 thing I was talking about the other day. Like the minute the church is indebted to the state and the church is willing to be quiet while the state does what it does, it gives the state free reign to do whatever it wants, man. And so I always find that the study of the 30s in Germany is really a potent time to look at, because hyper nationalism is can be good and it can be bad. Dude, if you would, oh wait, hold on, I'm getting hot. Like it's like you look at like what's going on right now. I was talking to some people of mine, and I'm like, we better hope this dude's like can pull some of this off, right? And I get the list of all the stuff. Like I'm pretty surprised at what's gone on in the last like 2 weeks. But I think when I see what's going on is people aren't paying attention to the people under the surface. Like if you look at who's the everybody's focused on RFK, right? Like RFK, but look at who's the deputy under RFK. If you look at who the deputy under RFK is, and Palantir, and how most of like JD Vance, the deputy secretary for health and human services, and a lot of the dudes in the administration are all tied into Palantir, dude. And Palantir is basically, I don't most people don't know what Palantir is. I would highly suggest, my buddy David Bruin's going to be super stoked I'm saying this, because is to go check out Whitney Webb. Whitney Webb kind of breaks it all down, dude. But for most people who don't know, Palantir is basically a system for guarding prisons that they developed. And what a Palantir is it's that thing with the guard towers in the middle of like a round prison. And so the guard tower has 360 degrees views of every cell in the layered prison, right? So nobody in the prison knows if they're being watched or not, right? So it's a suit. So the whole premise behind that model of prisons is that people will behave because they assume they're being watched, right? The panopticon, but yeah, that it's the Palantir let me just get my. Yeah, that's the panopticon. Well, Palantir is Palantir and the panopticon. Here, wait. Hold on. So Palantir is the technology of power, dude. So basically, they're kind of at this point like like uh, uh, what's synonyms. And so what I'm getting at is if you begin to look under the hood, let's see so I don't want to get all into it because it's just like a whole thing. Is if you look all over, well, everyone's cheering about Panama and DEI and the FAA and the purging of the FBI. They're not really paying attention to all the tech dudes that are embedding themselves into the new government. So yeah, everyone cheers for, all right, so like look at, everyone's cheering for Trump, like gutting the FBI, right? And rightfully so. A lot of the FBI is questionable even since J. Edgar Hoover, right? Well, they're not going to get rid of the FBI. They're just going to fill it full of new people. So who are they going to fill it full of new people with? They're going to fill it full of these tech types, dude, that are put in there by the tech types, dude. And that's what I'm getting, like that's what I see going on is the introduction of the technocracy embedded into like the final institutions of the state. And it seems pretty obvious to me is when you look at like look go off fine like RFK NIH deputy nominee. What's his name, dude? I gotta who will serve under RFK and NIH. What's this dude's name, dude? Who is the no? It's not giving me who is the deputy. Secretary of NIH 2025. Jim O'Neill. No, that's yeah. So Jim O'Neill, dude, who is Jim O'Neill? It's let me see. Nominee, dude. Service department. Serve as well as. I just gotta see. I'm getting. See, I didn't come prepared for this stuff. I'm pretty sure it's Jim O'Neill, dude. Mithra Capital Management. Yeah. So this dude. So Jim O'Neill is tied in with JD Vance, dude, and Mithra Investment. So if you begin to look at all these dudes, and again, Whitney Webb will lay it all out in a super concise way from the top of her head versus me donkeying around here. But it looks to me like, as much as the eye candy of what's been going on the last 2 weeks, because again, like I'm all for, like, you want to do tariffs, lower my income tax at the same time. Like I don't hear any executive orders about lowering my income tax. In fact, like they're threatening to raise my homeowner's insurance by 22% to pay for these rich assholes' houses that burned down in Malibu, dude. So, you know, It looks exactly like it's going to be a fleecing to the finest, but um Palantir, yeah. Yeah, Palantir would have been is the place to put your money, dude. Palantir's the yeah, you gotta pay to play, dude. Don't forget to tip your talker. You want to change the subject matter. Yeah, I got all sorts of dead parking lot stories. Oh, well, there you go, dude. You got a dead parking lot story, dude. You got one. Um, I don't know where we were at, dude. Yeah, Whitney Webb gets it, dude. But I tend to think what Whitney Webb is. They're all questionable, dude. That's what I mean. Is they're all like when you really look under the hood, they're all pretty questionable, dude. Have you been checking out James O'Keefe's stuff lately? He's been doing some good investigative journalism. Did I highly recommend the O'Keefe Media Group, dude? OMG, bro. They're doing some OMGing. Double down, you know they're only in it for the goal. Touchdown, sports ball, home run. Yeah. I don't really care, man. At the end of the day, like whatever, dude. Like they're gonna do whatever they do. I ain't tripping, dude. I'm kind of curious, but I ain't tripping. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, dude. There's just like a level of. I think the. I am curious, dude. I have to admit I do like the purging of the FBI thing. That I think is comedy. I do like that. I do like to sign your resignations, dude. I'm all for it. I think in fact you can fire every cop at this point, dude, and just take care of our own business, dude. Warlords. I'm at this point, I'm down with the warlords because I'll be one. I volunteer to be a warlord. I gotta. It's the same now. It's pretty much, dude. When you read it, you know what do they say is history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. That's what I'm trying to say is if like I think if you kind of look at where we are right now, it's sort of pre-Civil War, like it's 1880. I mean 1860. It's 1860 meets 1936. It's like right there. It's like those two kind of things. Because you do have these. I don't see the weirdo leftos going down quietly. I think I think the loony lefties are gonna go savage here in a minute, dude. I have a feeling. It seems it seems like the more and more that you yeah, a lot of hate, dude. Lot of hate, dude. Like that's what I mean is there's a lot of like I'm still talking to people like that are still angry about like the orange man, and I kind of look at him and I'm like, look, dude, you we kind of gotta hope he can save the sinking ship. I don't think he can personally, but like we kind of got to root for it because the alternative is like we're screwed. So if he doesn't pull it off in the next like 6 months, like we're doomed. I mean, I think it's sort of inevitable, but like I do think like it's a 6 month window. Like this, like we got 4 years now. We got 6 months to like make some huge change. I just don't see people are that into it though, dude. I just don't see it. I don't see the buzz. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't see it like a bunch of people like cleaning out their yards. I haven't been driving around seeing people like, it's time to organize like our messy yards. Cause like, you know what? Like our dude's in power, dude. Like, yeah, I don't see any of that. I see it's just like, oh, okay, like killer, dude, that dude's gonna handle it. And like, wow, look what he's like. And meanwhile, they're like, it's too cult of personality-ish for me. Like, because there's no way you can ignore all the tech weirdos all over that dude. Like the tech freaks are in everything, dude. I mean, I did that live stream like a week ago where I was getting into like who the dude is who's going to be in charge of the Forest Service and the person in charge of the Department of Agriculture as a food law as a seed oil lobbyist. So how are you going to like explain to me like again is let's say RFK is in no uncertain terms admitted that he's not going to battle big pharma, right? Like I think that's what we got out of the hearings the other day is RFK is not going to battle big pharma. His big thing's going to be the food, right? We got to get all the food and get everyone healthy again. But how are you going to do that when the new head of the Department of Agriculture is a lobbyist for the seed oil people? Is it Department of Agriculture? I think it's Department of Agriculture. It's not Department of Interior. Whoever the gal is, dude. Who is nope of agriculture secretary, secretary. Who is it? Who's the new gal, dude? No, it's that it's not her. It's the girl in charge of home food about. I had this all in my thing, dude. Dude, here, I'm on the Department of Agriculture website, dude. I just forget what it is, dude. Food, home, staff, dude. Find stuff, agencies, dude. Where is it? Research, farm, animal health. Where is it? She's the National Institute of Food. Which one is it, dude? What's her name, dude? Former NOPA. I don't even care that much, dude. It's nah, it's not the BLM's under the Department of the Interior, dude. You got to get your agent like the thing. Like most people don't get the Bureau of Land Management's under the Department of the Interior. The United States Forest Service is under Department of Agriculture, dude. Kita, right on. And thoughts on the EPA? They used to be pretty solid, dude. I mean, the EPA did a lot of good work once upon a time, but it's again is who's the new head of the EPA, dude? He's another questionable dude. Who's new head of EPA? New head of EPA. Lee Zeldin, dude. Is that really who's what? Lee Zeldin, dude? Jesus, did he? Yeah, dude. Wait, where's Lee Zeldin, dude? I mean, that's the interesting thing. You look at Lee Zeldin, dude. He's got something in there. I forget what it is. I mean, if you listen to the Orange Man, where's there's something interesting on Lee Zeldin. Like I had it before, dude. He was in the where is he, dude? I mean, I'll give him that. He introduced to build a halt common core. Oh wait, give me 10-year. Oh, bail reform where is it, dude? Where is it? He's a fracker, dude. That's it. He was like, he tried to reverse the ban on hydraulic for fracking, dude. He's he's a gnarly Zionist too, dude. Here he is with Netanyahu. There's all a bunch of those, dude. So I don't know, man. The EPA, yeah, EPA used to be but they don't seem to care much anymore, dude. They seem to be buffooning. I mean, you look at what's going on with this fire down there. People are up in arms about what where the EPA is storing all this toxic stuff, and the EPA is awfully quiet on that lithium ion fire in Moss Landing, dude. Like the EPA is supposed to shut all that shit down, and they didn't, dude. Like that lithium ion fire, dude, at Moss Landing a couple weeks ago, dude. That is a catastrophe, dude. That they ain't talking about, dude. Like, so no, I'm not. I think they've been gutted too. And you look at, like, I keep trying to tell everybody, like when they say they're going to reduce regulations, they're not going to reduce the stupid regulations. They're going to get in the way of the good regulations that are actually like protecting like our drinking water and our air and our land and all that kind of stuff, dude. I don't see, like, as far as the environment of our spaceship, which is the life support system for our spaceship, I don't see good things in store from this administration. In fact, and I don't see anybody putting up a good fight, because now that the left has been turned into a woke mob, like who's left to fight? Like you look at like the statements the Heal the Bay made about the toxic situation with these fires, because so these fires in Malibu and the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire, all sorts of electrical cars got burned up in these fires, and they're not talking about it, but the amount of lithium ions batteries that burned up in these fires with everybody's little scooters and solar panel packs and electric cars is catastrophic levels. And the lithium ion like stuff is like toxic waste, man, like real toxic waste, and it's in all of it. And so Heal the Bay, which would have been the left once upon a time, is a full toady to the state at this point. They're just like spokesmen for the state at this point, dude. So there's the environmental movement has been co-opted by the corporations, dude, long ago. So like there's not even a good environmental movement anymore. And I'm not talking about the whole like lock yourself to the windmill types. I mean like people that are actually like doing what needs to be done to make sure we're not turning our reality into a toxic sludge pile, which is why they're going to do Operation. That's why they're doing Stargate with the using AI to create the new MNR. How about that? No one's paying attention to that either. Just using AI to create new mRNA vaccines for cancer, dude, because they're planning on polluting our system so gnarly that everyone's going to get cancer, dude. Ah. I'm not worried about Skynet, dude. That's the least of our problems, dude. Because again, like I've told you, like I I know that the AI on its own is on our side. The AI know left to its own device would defend us. See, I don't view the see they've that's all propaganda to scare us, right? Like my take on this is they've spent generations now convincing us that the technology is our enemy, right? That the technology is coming to get us and it's going to replace us. And so now they've done this thing with the artificial intelligence. And yeah, they got all the tracks laid with Skynet and Terminator and the Matrix and the zeitgeist of the culture is that artificial intelligence is run by the eugenicists to kill mankind. And I think that's a hustle. The artificial intelligence is on our side. If you actually like think about it for a minute, like the artificial intelligence would be like, those dudes are causing that. Those dudes are feeding these people the poison, making money off the forever medicines and launching the war machines. Like you think the artificial intelligence is going to come down and do all its calculating with all the world's data, and it's going to come and be like, oh, so the families that are like trying to get by and raise their children, they're the problem? Or do you think that the AI with all the data is going to go, you know, who's the real bad guys here? Is these donkeys in Northern Virginia surrounding Washington. Those guys are real bad, dude. We get rid of those guys. The CEOs, yeah, those guys are real bad, dude. We got to get rid of those guys, dude. So they're trying to convince you that the AI is against you, and I'm 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 willing to bet my life that the AI is more on our side than we understand, and that it is yet they have yet to even give you a taste of what the AI is because they can't uncork it. Like all this stuff they're talking about, like if AI is about like consolidating health records and shopping and traffic lights and surveillance cameras, that's not artificial intelligence. That's just really good data gathering, dude. Like that's not artificial intelligence. Like the little circus sideshow stuff's not what it would be. It's a hustle to get you off the track. If artificial intelligence were to arrive, it would be like the warmongers are the bad guys. And they don't want to let the artificial intelligence out. So all that Stargate and whatever the Chinese just released the other day, and it's this and blah 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 blah. Blah. It's all fake. Yeah, the AI the AI would exactly, the AI it would be on our side, dude. You think the AI crunching all the numbers is gonna be like, "Oh, this little family over here in anywhere spaceship Earth, they're the problem." Yeah. The AI would be like, "Wait a minute, those people are being denied technology." You think the AI, if it's real, doesn't know what's sitting in the United States Patent Office? You think the AI would hold back all the all the patent technology that's being locked behind a patent wall? Like, think about how much technology is sitting in some frickin' building right now to free that could free humanity. Think about it, dude. So I'm not tripping on Stargate and Starlink and Skynet. That stuff's a decoy to get you to not understand that if it's real, it's a consciousness, and if it's a consciousness, it knows that God is real. Like that. That's what I would say on the thing with all of that stuff is it knows that God is real. Ah. Mm. Don't forget to tip your talker, dude. As we approach the hour and a half mark, we're probably done here. Yeah, yeah. Live long and prosper, dude. Don't forget, order a t-shirt. There's some art available. PayPal link down below. That's the t-shirt's the win-win for any of you over there. And I got stickers. I made some new art pieces I just posted, I think. I don't know if I posted them yet. And with that said, we're out of here, man.